let's give it a go. I can work with that. I can work with that. Dyeing never goes well for me. G'day and welcome back to part 2 of making Mimzy from Hazbin Hotel. If you haven't seen part 1, check that out now. I'll leave the link up the top there. But if you've already seen it, let's crack on. It's literally the next day after the very end of that last video and I need to go to Spotlight. There's a few things that I need to pick up, such as some dye and also a zip for this cosplay. But I also thought it'd be a good opportunity to get some more stabilizer, as I am running very low, and also some calico because I'm also running low on my calico supply and I need that for doing mock-ups. And why I'm going today is because I've got this voucher, which is $30 off when you spend $99 or more. So if I get it all at once, I should hit that. And I've also got this gift card that my friend gave me for my birthday. It's 50 bucks. Thank you very much, little pawsy. So I'm going to be spending that. And I also have my list prepared so I do not stray from the path. So come on with me as we buy what I need. So I'm currently in Spotlight and I found my first issue. The synthetic dyes don't have that many colors and the closest that they've got is a racing red and I need like a maroon. So I'm gonna play around with that. I know I've got a few different synthetic ones at home. I'm going to play around with color theory and figure out what colors I can maybe mix to create the shade that I need. Other than that, I already have my zipper. I ended up going for a zipper that was longer than what I think I need, but it's better to get a zipper that's too long and cut it down rather than get one that's too short. I know that there's calico here. I've already seen it. I'm going to grab that on my way out, but I just need to find the tearaway now. I wonder if it's down here. Can't seem to find it in this store. I'll find it. I am back home now and I have gone to Spotlight and I also had my hair cut because self-care is important and I hadn't cut my hair for like a year. Unfortunately, there was no more of this. I don't know if they've just stopped stocking it, but the store that I went to is quite a small store, but I couldn't find it on Spotlight's website anymore. So I'm really afraid that they no longer sell this and that makes me sad because it's a good weight. They only have like a heavy duty tearaway that is to me it feels too thick and I would rather something that's thin and like this. So I shall have to have a little bit of a think about that, but I still managed to make up the $100 so that I could use the voucher because not only did I get these two things, which I already showed you because they're in my basket, but I also bought calico, 2 rolls worth. So in my hands I have 20 meters in total of calico. That will keep me out of mischief for a little bit. So all up it came to a little bit over $100. So with $30 off and then my $50 gift card, I think I paid like 30 bucks and I was like, yay! So I feel happy. But for now, I am at a little bit of a loss of what to do next. I can't really move forward any further with the dress until the fringing arrives. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working on the accessories like the necklace and the headpiece. The headpiece, I have lots of pink feathers, like ostrich feathers, just I seem to have collected them, and then my grandmother had a whole lot as well. I want to see if I can make some of those darker so that I can wire some together so there's a nice thick pink one and then I can wire some together and have like a taller like maroon one. But I need to figure out how I'm going to do that because you can't really dye feathers from what I understand in terms of like a normal boil it in the pot. It just destroys the integrity of the feather. I know, or at least I think you can do something with alcoholic inks. So I'm gonna have a little bit of a look at that and just see what I might be able to do. And I'll probably play around with some spare feathers that I've got. Hopefully I'll figure out something. And for the necklace, there's like a gemstone in the middle and then there's beads that go around. The beads are going to be the same beads that I'm going to be using on the dress, just the largest ones. And then once the wig arrives, I need to style the wig, and I think the gloves are gonna be just fine, hopefully. I don't think that they're like full ones that come up to here. I think they only come up to here. That's fine. So I just went outside and looked in my post box, and look what's come. Oh my goodness, yay. So this is my wig by the feel of it. So let's open it up and have a bit of a squiz, shall we? This I just got off eBay because I needed something quickly. So I couldn't go all the way to AliExpress because that's all in China and that's too long to wait. Oh, okay, all right. Let's have a look. She doesn't feel very thick, but she's not too shiny, so it's not too bad. Okay. Oh, that's quite cute. Okay, let me go put her on, give her a little bit of a comb, and we'll see what we think. Oh no! Oh, she's one of these ones. Oh, that's so annoying. I hate these. I really hope it's gonna be big enough because sometimes these just pop right off my head. Here's the wig. She is very thin, and I can feel her almost popping off my head. It's annoying, but I'll make her work. I think there's a hack that I know that I can maybe make this a little bit bigger in terms of the head size, but the thinness is a real kind of issue. Like if the wind blows, you'll see like the kind of wefts. So I know that one thing I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to restyle her. I'm gonna have to cut the fringe, and also I think underneath, especially to the sides, underneath like the hair here, I'm gonna have to tease it to try and give it a bit of volume because at the moment it's super flat, and it's going every which way. So that's disappointing, but I can't really do too much. Like I can't really cut off too much because literally this is all the length that there is and it's really not all that much. And I'm not even sure if the back is covering. I'm really hoping that the back is covering. Like I don't even want to touch the back because I'm worried that it will lift up and then you'll see my hair underneath it. So, okay, well, looks like I'm gonna have to do some magic on this wig. The other thing about this wig is that it's literally shedding. Like I've only worn this for maybe 5 minutes and already I've had 2 clumps come out of it. I'm really worried about this wig, guys. Good morning. So today I have decided that I'm going to try and do something with this wig because if you have been following me, you know I hate wigs. Like I loathe wigs. I hate them so very much. And today I want to try something that I swear I've seen other people do. Though, do you think that I can find any video now that I need to like have a reference for it? But I feel like I've seen it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this wig and I am going to pin it to this old wig head, which is a really old wig head that I got from the end of the run of the last weekend tour that was in Australia. I knew the hairstylist who was on that when it was in Perth and we were like the last destination. And she had like 60 of these things and I got one that is my head size. But I'm gonna pin this to this and then I'm going to turn it upside down, put a bag over it, or rather steam it first, put a bag over it and then steam it more, seal it shut and just let it stay like that for a couple of hours. And hopefully what that will do will encourage all the fibers to kind of sit outwards so that when I flip it this way, it's got more volume. And that way I don't have to tease or crimp because I'm never good at teasing. Every time I try to tease a wig, it ends terribly, and considering how much fiber I've already lost from this wig from wearing it once yesterday for about 15 minutes, and there isn't that much fiber in this to begin with, I just don't want to do that. So I'm going to try this method. I am not confident that this is going to work. This honestly feels like one of the weirdest things I've done. Like, this feels wrong, but let's give it a go. My gosh, this is so shocking. Like, seriously, look at these wefts. They're horrible. So this is the wig turned upside down, and you can really see what I mean when I say that it's thin. I mean, look at this. Like, it's not even sewn into the weft. It's sewn into the hair. Oh, okay. Let's try and work some magic on this. I went all the way around with the steamer directly on the hair, and then I put this trash bag over the top, tied it off at the top, and then filled it with a whole lot of steam. And that was over, it was about half a container of the steam that I had in my steamer, and then I've tied it off at the bottom. So now I'm going to let that sit, cool down naturally, and we'll see if it made any difference whatsoever in a couple of hours. It's later in the day, I've just come home, and this was in the mail, and I have a feeling I know what these are. I believe that these are the gloves. Let's have a look. Hopefully, they're better than the wig. There we are. Here are the gloves. I love the color. Okay, nice opera length gloves. Yes, I love that color. Oh, gorgeous. Like I said, I knew that they were going to be shorter than the reference image, but that's okay. Let's have a look. Excellent. Okay, let's try the right one, because I've got my wedding ring on the left. I have quite big hands, so hopefully there's some stretch in this. Oh, not too shabby. Oh, they're gorgeous. Okay, I'm happy with those. I'm gonna put the other one on now. I don't care that I've got my wedding ring on. It's May, it's May. I know you were waiting for me. Yay. Oh, that's really cool. All right, I'm happy with those. It's now time to unbag the wig and see if all the steaming I did earlier this morning actually did anything. Let's go. All right, it's still absolutely soaking wet, so I'm gonna let that dry. Because yeah, the steam obviously condensed and has become water. So I think we're gonna towel, wipe up the little mess that I've made, and we'll check in tomorrow, I think. Whilst I've been waiting for the wig to dry, still not dry yet, I have gone ahead and organized all of my beads for this project. So I haven't organized my bead tray since Jennifer, which was 2015, and I thought I'm using a whole lot of beads for this project, so I might as well organize them, because the petrol beads, there were actually 6 different types all mixed in together in the one bag. So I wanted to separate those to see how much I had of each, so I could play around with the placement of those. And then I have the Jennifer red beads down here, which I'll be using for a little bit on the bodice, but hopefully I'll be using a whole lot on the skirt as well. That's if I can get them threaded onto the fringing. So watch this space. That will be an interesting little adventure, but it would be so cool to have all of these beads around the bottom so that when I swoosh, it will just be like glitter. I love that idea. And then I've got some seed beads in red that I've just bought because they were like $2 or $3, and I was like, that is a nice color red and goes nicely with the rest of the costume. So I'll be kind of using those on the bodice. So some of the black beads are going to be used in the necklace, some of the larger beads, but there is also a gem in the center and a gem that goes on her headpiece as well. And they change shape in the show because that's what the artists do, don't they? So I think for ease, I have this cameo and this resin cast that I've had since Amethyst. So that was what, 2015, 16, something like that, that I've just kind of kept and never threw out. And those kind of fit very nicely together. And that is going to be for the necklace. Now for the headpiece, I thought it'd be fun to do one that is round, but the same coloring. Funnily enough, I also have these ones that I resin cast back then as well. And this one is smaller, but it looks really good in this cameo. Now, if I use this cameo, I would need to figure out if I'm going gold or silver for the overall look, but that looks really quite nice. So I might do that. But I also have the larger one that I don't have a cameo to fit. And for example, if I put it over this, you can see it takes up the entirety of the cameo. So, but I'm going to play around with all of these. And what I'm going to do is I am going to do this, like, I feel this is like a terrible, terrible way. But you know what? These are acrylic. This is acrylic nail polish. I'm just going to paint them. And I've got one red and one like glittery pink. So I think I'm gonna do a base coat in red and then a glittery pink on top and see what they look like. If they look terrible, that's okay. I haven't wasted anything, right? At the end of the day, I would love it if I could possibly use some of the things that I've been hoarding. So I'm gonna paint this up and we're gonna see what it looks like. I love that this says Sinful Shine. I'm gonna take that as a sign. So my little adventure with the nail polish worked quite well actually. It felt so wrong. I ended up doing 2 coats of red and 1 coat of the pink sparkle on top. And then I did a layer of top coat as well, just, you know, because acrylic nails need top coat. So I figured acrylic gems with nail polish on it needed top coat. And honestly, I'm very happy with how they turned out. So here they are. And they're very cool because in some cases they look more red, in some cases they look more pink. And to be honest, they're pretty close to the reference image. So I'm pretty happy with all of that. So now I'm going to put this one into the locket, the frame. So this is the frame. I think that what I'm going to do is I am going to make this gold because Mimzy to me seems like a gold gal. I've been pondering over it. I love silver personally, but I think I'm gonna paint this up gold before I stick this gem into it. And then it's all about the beading. It's all about creating the necklace. Good morning. So here's the wig. I went ahead and let it all dry. There's a little bit more volume at the roots. It doesn't look quite as flat, I think. I don't know. I really dislike this wig. I'm really thinking maybe what I'm going to do for the future is I might get like a curly blonde bob wig. I think that might just suit Mimzy a bit better. But last night I went through and I actually steamed in the edges and like curled it up slightly. So I think it gives it more of that like bobber look. But yeah, this fringe is ridiculous. I need to cut this. So I think while I've got it on my head, I'm going to give it a little bit of a trim to about here, and then I'll try it back on and hopefully I won't look like a mop. So here's the wig, and this is about as good as it's going to get. I hate it. I just, no, it doesn't look like Mimzy. I think I need a curly wig for her, which is annoying because I bought this one. But yeah, it's not really doing anything for me, and I don't think it really feels like Mimzy. Even though she's meant to have like this bob and like there's only like curls at the very end, it just, this doesn't feel true to Mimzy. This feels very like, I don't know, just flat, deflated. It needs a lot more volume. I feel like Mimzy is just such a big character that she needs like curls and like almost like a Clara Bow kind of situation. So I'm gonna have a little bit of a look, see what's around. I don't know if it's gonna get here in time for when I want to wear this for a convention, but we shall see. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna do some searching. I'm gonna try and find a new wig. This can be a backup wig, but I'm not loving it. A little bit of an update. I have found a new wig. I've ordered it. It should be here in about 10 to 12 days. But it's a curly bob wig, and to me it just reads a whole lot more flapper, without it being like finger waves than what I currently have, and actually Mimzy's design. So it's a curly wig, it's a curly bob wig, and should come to about here on me. Mimzy's character design has her hair coming down here, but it's not reading correct for the character when you make it into real life. I've also decided to go for a more of a platinum blonde rather than a golden blonde, which this one was. I just feel that that looks too dark, even though it looks like the color that Mimzy's hair is meant to be. I don't know, I kind of think that she's probably meant to be a little bit more platinum blonde. And I'm excited. I'm excited to try this new wig. I think that it's just gonna read more Mimzy as a character. And I am very much aware that I am choosing this as an artistic choice to step away from the reference image exactly, so that I create something that feels more realism in the character, because I feel like I'm kind of doing that with the dress anyway, so it's fine. We will see when the wig gets here, but yes, I'm not going to question my choices. I've made them now, I must stick to them. I think today, honestly, I'm just going to focus on beading. So I'm going to bead some of the dress. I'm going to hopefully do the necklace, and yes, that is my goal for today. I don't want to play with feathers today. I'm just not in the mood for feathers. I don't feel like. Let's do embellishments. Yay! So I have finished beading up the top until I finish sewing everything together, and then I will do the top row. But yeah, look at that. I love the shine. It makes me so happy. I still have the bottom to do, but I have done all the red beading as well on the bottom, so it's getting there. Oh, she looks so beautiful. So now it's time to do the necklace, and I have my little gem all ready to go. I painted this gold, and it's a very kind of antique gold that's quite light, so it kind of looks like rose gold, which I'm not mad about. So this is our centerpiece. I've cut some necklace beading wire thread. I don't know what it's called. It's been in my stash for yonks. So I'm gonna put this in the middle, and then I'm going to thread on my beads. So I've got these biggest beads that are slightly misshaped with the petrol in them, the oil slick. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these red seed beads as a little bit of a spacer, just to kind of give it a bit more depth. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to give it a go, and we'll see what it looks like afterwards. So the necklace is now done. That's what it looks like. I even did it all fancy, and it's got proper jewelry clasps, so very happy with this. So yay, that's done. So the only other accessory that I still need to make is the headpiece, and I do not feel like making that today. So I'm gonna put a pin in that one. But I'm very happy with how this turned out. It was very easy, it was very fun, and just kind of felt like I was crafting. Just, you know, arts and craft, which is always good to get back to. I have just finished beading everything that I can bead so far on this dress, because that is a seam up there, can't bead that yet, and that is going to be sand stitched down after I have sewn on the fringing that goes underneath here, and then I can bead that. So I've done everything that I possibly can until the fringing gets here for this dress, and I really like it. I think with the beading it kind of brings it with a little bit more life, which I really like. And of course, you know, with the necklace and everything, it really looks like it's coming together. So the only thing that I can do left until the new wig arrives, and also the fringing, more importantly the fringing, is the headpiece. So I think I'm going to work on that next. So here we are. Here are all of my very pink feathers. I tried a version of colouring it, or colouring some of it, a maroon. It is not a good look. It basically does the same effect as when I've tried to dye feathers before. So that to me means that if I was to try to color these existing feathers, I would need to probably go and get some alcoholic ink and some spray or something like that. So I decided that I was just gonna buy some new feathers that are red, because either way I was going to have to buy something and it's just easier if I just get it sorted. So I have put it in an order to get some ostrich feathers that are seconds, a pack of 5. The feathers were like $9 for the pack of 5, and then the postage was $13. But you know what, it's fine, because if I tried to get some alcoholic inks and then like figure out how to make it work, it's probably going to cost me the same amount of money. So I'm fine with this decision. But it means I literally can do nothing more on this costume until something arrives, whether it be the fringing, the feathers, or the wig. This is the worst moment, when you've got mojo, when you want to cosplay, and you can't move forward with a project that you're really enjoying. So I'm getting ready to go out, but look what just came. It's my fringing. I'm pretty sure it's my fringing, given the squishiness of it all. So let's have a look at it. I really hope that it's better than the wig. I have to be very careful because I don't want to nick it. Ooh, cool, okay. Let's have a look. Oh good, it's all in one length. That's so good. I was worried that they had cut it into like 1 meter lengths and I was gonna get very, very angry. But there we go, look at it, oh my God. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I think that's gonna be long enough. Yeah, that's about right. It might be a teeny bit shorter than what I need her to be on the sides, but I can work with that. I can work with that. So the next thing I'll need to do is start figuring out how I'm gonna dye this. I'm gonna have to cut at least one length of it off. That will be for the purple, because that is the base layer, and then the rest can be pink. But because I want to do 1 layer purple and then 2 layers pink, like a movie pink. But what I also want to do is I also want to take this opportunity to see if I can thread onto the end of it the red like diamond kind of shape bead, because I'm crazy and I think that it would look really cool to have like the beads at the end of every single thread. It will take forever, but it would look so cool, and that way when I walk, like, there'll be like a little bit of a sparkle. Of course, it does mean that I'll have beads around my kneecaps the entire time, but it's fine. All right, let's see here. So here is one strand. Look at that, it goes straight on. That's so cool. And then if I tie it into a knot, that would keep it. Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. That's really easy, which is fabulous. Yay, okay, cool. So it looks like I know what I'm doing this afternoon / tomorrow. Yay, we get dyeing, woohoo! Guess what we're doing? We're dyeing, and today we're gonna do the purple. So I've done my test pieces, let me show you. So here are the strands. So this is 0 seconds, like in and out. That one's 10, that one's 30 seconds, that one's 1 minute. This is 2.5 minutes, and this is 5 minutes. So this is kind of the coloring that I'm going for. It looks like maybe this is as much as it's going to absorb. So I spoke to Terry, he's my second pair of eyes. We've decided I'm gonna chuck it in for 5 minutes, and that will be good. So let's do that now. So here is my fringing that I've just dyed purple. It was in there for 4.5 minutes, and I am very concerned it is now too purple, but I am gonna wait and see what it looks like when it dries, and if it's too purple, it is what it is, because it's the bottom layer. There's going to be more of the top layer because there's going to be 2 rows of that. So if there's a little bit of purple that come through, it'll be fine. I've also been noticing with the other pieces that it does get a lot lighter when it's dry. So, and like fully dry. I'm actually concerned that it may not be holding color. So we shall see what this all looks like soon. Good morning. So look at this. It is the first lot of fringing that has been dyed. So this is the bottommost layer and it is this beautiful shade of purple, but it's like a pinky purple. I don't know how, but it is almost perfect. So I'm very, very happy about this. So a few things. Dyeing never goes well for me. And this is definitely the case in this regards because I did some tester pieces, little strands that had fallen off. And what I found was that I like did some that was like for under a minute, and then I did one at 2.5 minutes and one at 5 minutes. And I do my normal thing where I get the iron, put it in between some calico and basically dry it off by ironing it. I lay it all out and I go, yep, okay, so 2.5 minutes to 5 minutes. That's like the color that I'm looking for. Beautiful, no problem. I put my rest of my fringe into the pot. And as that's cooking away, constantly stirring, I come back, have a look at my swatches, and the ones that were under like a minute have turned basically back to white. And the ones that were 2.5 minutes to 5 minutes are like so much lighter, like almost white. And I'm just freaking out because I'm just like, okay, well, I've put that in there and like, how did that lose color? Like, how did that lose color? That has never happened to me. It's like a magical type of fabric that over time just eats the color. Is that what it is? So anyway, I cook it all up and then I go and let it air dry, and I'm like constantly checking on it for the next couple of hours. And yes, it is getting lighter and I'm just like, oh my goodness, my soul. And then it fully dries, and then this is the color that we have, which is the color that I need. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was because the heat of the iron directly onto the wet like fringe piece caused it to like create steam, and then the steam caused it to dilute. I don't know what happened. That has never happened before. But I'm glad that with a normal air drying, we got the color that we needed. Like, this was the color that it originally showed when I did my test piece, but I will show you what this looks like next to the test piece of that 5 minute mark, and you'll see what I mean. So this top one is the 5 minute test strand that I then pressed with an iron between some calico, and then this one is the strand that is connected to the actual fringing that I dyed and let air dry. The other thing is that I bought 4 meters of this fringing, thinking I'll cut it into 3 pieces and that will be all good. So I cut this at about 1 meter 30, 1 meter 35, sorry, 1 meter 33. You know, that's a third of it, and I need about 1 meter 20, meter 25 to go around the bottom of that skirt because of the like weird shapes. And this shrunk by like 18 centimeters. So that's fun. This is now 115 centimeters long, but I can actually stretch it a little bit. There's a little bit of stretch to it. So I'm going to stretch it as I sew it, and I should get it all the way around. Sorry about that, my camera battery died. So I put it on charge for about half an hour and used that time to prep my fringe for today. So this is the rest of the fringe. I'm holding roughly about 2.6 meters of fringing in my hand. That's folded over 4 times. And I need to make this into a kind of purpley, pinkish kind of color. I don't know, it's like a maroon. It's an interesting one. So here is the plan. I'm going to dilute the pot of purple that I've still got in the pot from yesterday, because I didn't know if I was going to have to re-dye this purple because it was like seeping away the color in my testers. But I'm going to add some more water to that, and then I'm going to add some racing red So here is the Racing Red dye. Now, the thing about this is that this is a full bottle, where the purple, I only had like a quarter of a bottle left. So like, that's it, I'm out. And I don't feel like going to Spotlight and buying more, because they're like 18 bucks per bottle, I think. And I'm just, I've already spent enough money on this cosplay. Like, I've already bought 2 wigs for this cosplay because the first one was not great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use probably about a quarter, maybe a little bit more than a quarter of this, put it into the pot with the extra water, do some dye samples, and I'll still do with the heat and the iron, because like the color that showed up was the color that I had, you know, at the end of it all. It's just like it disappeared because of the heat or something, I don't know. So that is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to get the fire cracking, and we're going to do some testers, and then we're going to dye some fringing. I'll check back in with you once that's all done. I have just finished dyeing the top layers. I'm so excited. Here are the test pieces, and these seem to be holding their color fine when I put the iron over the top of them. I don't understand, but it's this beautiful kind of pinky, purpley kind of color. It's so good. Like, I know that it's not exactly the right shade as according to a reference image, but also I've taken liberties with the rest of the costume as well. So I feel like having the purple and then the pink that is more of a red kind of works in with the rest of the costume. I mean, it's very close to the lining, so that makes me happy. So while I'm waiting for the big fringe lot of this to dry, I am going to take my first layer, my bottommost layer of purple. I'm going to pin it into place and hopefully sew it all down, and we'll have the first lot of fringing on. Oh, I'm so excited. So I currently have the first layer on of the fringe, and my vision is coming together. I'm so excited. So we just need to wait for the other 2 layers to dry, and then I can split that in half, and then I can sew that on top. So there's a bit of a space above it where I'm going to be laying the 2 other layers, so that way it's nice and flat, so they're not stacked on top of each other. I thought ahead. And then I can go ahead, press this down, do the sand stitching, actually sew it all together, which I'm so excited for, and then I can put the zipper in and I can try it on. And I want to try it on before I cut and level it off, because I want to see how it's fitting on my body. Not that I can really do anything about it, but I want to see where it hits and then cut it off in accordance to what I'm looking at. And then we can do all the final beading work and coloring work, because I will still need to put the little like strip of dark red along the bottom of all the fringing still. I haven't decided if I'm going to dye that or if I'm going to use some texture and just color it in, because sometimes doing dodgy things like that in cosplay is fine. It's much later in the evening, but all the fringing has been sewn into place and I've done the sand stitch. However, you can see that in the center here, it just isn't kind of sitting correctly, and there's a little bit of bunching on that side, but I'm fine with that. That's not a problem. Hopefully when I get some beads on, it won't be that noticeable. But this in the front, that's something that I noticed straight away, and the point is not very nice. So tomorrow, because it's just too late now, too dark, and my eyes are going cross-eyed trying to like work with black thread, I'm going to unpick this section here. So I think what I'll do is I'll probably unpick from here, down here to up here, and kind of make sure that the fringing is actually falling into the center before I do the zigzag stitch. But you can see how the others are looking quite lovely, and you've got that purple coming through. I really like that effect. I think that's really, really cool. But I'm going to call it here for a night, because yeah, this is a disappointing end. Very disappointing end to today. Also, trying to sand stitch fringing is the absolute pits. Just saying. Good morning. So today is an exciting day because I've got an entire day of sewing ahead of me, and I am so excited because it means I can get a good chunk of this finally done. So I've been working on this morning. It is currently just 4:12 and I have managed to kind of redo the center so that it doesn't have this weird fall of not having enough coverage right in the center of the skirt. So I used some masking tape to kind of smooth out where, after I unpicked it all, because that took freaking half an hour to do like this much of the satin stitch. That was not fun. But I essentially used a wide tooth comb to like comb out the fringing, and then I got some painter's tape and popped that down in a V so that it would hold the fringing where I wanted it to fall. Because funnily enough, the rest of it, it's all fine. Like, it was only in this one section that had to be right in the front, didn't it? So I went ahead and I did that, and that was a pain, but it's done now. And then I went ahead and I did the rest of the beading along the base here. So this part is now done, which I'm very excited about. The issue is, it seems like for some reason, the bottom of this section, it's stretched. I don't know how. It could be that the weave of the silk kind of stretched as I was working on it, or maybe when it was put down onto the fabric, I don't know, but it's stretched. So there is a little bit of bubbling around the base of the skirt, which I'm hoping won't be too noticeable when I'm actually wearing it. I've tried my best to kind of make sure as I'm beading to kind of move around it so that I'm not making it, you know, taut, so that it's gonna like bubble more when I wear it. I'm hoping that as I'm wearing it, it will kind of fill out a little bit. I don't know what's happening there. It's not too noticeable. I don't feel like it's not perfect, which annoys me, but also like I'm not invested enough to figure it all out, start again and change it. Because if I was to redo it all, it would be too much work. It would be easier for me to start again. And weighing up like how much it annoys me versus like how much I'm just enjoying the rest of this, I'm gonna move on and accept that which it is. But one thing I really, really love is I love, now that it's all sewn down, you get these little bits of like dark purple coming through, which just looks like the reference image, and I'm so happy with that. I think the colors are really, really fabulous. So the next thing I need to do is I need to attach all the pieces together, and then finally I'll be able to put in the zipper. Now, this stresses me out a whole lot because of the fact that I haven't tried this on at all since doing the mock-up, and I know that parts of it are slightly different. So somehow I'm gonna have to make it work. The other thing that annoys me slightly is that the center point is slightly off center because it's stretched somehow to the center point of the skirt, which means that when I do the lining and everything, the skirt center will be slightly off. But I think that given that it's quite a loose weave of a satin, like it's kind of annoying because it's been fraying a bit. Because of that though, I think that it should be fine. Like, you're not meant to see that much of it anyway. You can see that I care deeply about the imperfections of this costume. I just hope that she looks good enough, and when I wear her, she's gonna feel good. That's what I hope. I am really concerned looking at her. Like, I knew this going in, but I am concerned the fact that she is very long lined, and that generally doesn't suit me. But also, I don't think it's meant to suit Mimzy. You know, it's definitely this whole kind of flapper-esque sort of vibe that we've got going, and we're just gonna roll with it. So here's a bit of an up close so you can see what I mean by the bubbling, especially around here. Like it's mostly this area here and a little bit through here, and one of the sides of the back bubbles a little bit as well. It's annoying. I don't know how this happened, and like it's bubbling up here now as well. Oh well. Hopefully my hips, it will like push it out because my hips are a little bit bigger than the mannequin. I have just sewn all the layers together. So the base here is now very, very neatly together. It just needs a good press. And the top has also been sewn. And I'm very annoyed about this part because it's very, very narrow in the black right at like the cleavage point. And I thought I had accounted for that, but clearly not. But at least it's kind of even on both sides. So I'll bead around that, but it's just kind of annoying more than anything else. I have thought about if I should do the beading first or if I should do the zipper first. I think I'm going to do the beading first, just in the like the main areas of the top here, just so that it kind of looks all nice. And I'll leave the back free of the beads as I have done. So that's what the back looks like. It's still very, very unfinished, but I'll come back to that part. I'm not quite ready to put this through the overlocker just yet. Update time. So I have gone ahead and I have done all the beading along the top of the bodice now. It looks so pretty. I'm so happy, and I think why I really like this is because these actually give the impression of black pearls a little bit. And I kind of love that because it really works for Mimzy's character being, you know, of flapper kind of origin. So with this, I think the next thing I need to do is I do need to put in the zipper. I have gone through and overlocked the edges here. I'm hoping that everything's going to line up. The thing I'm most concerned about is the back of the kind of bottom detailing. I'm hoping that's going to line up pretty decently, but I'm not 100% sure if it will. The other thing I'm trying to work out is how far down the zipper I need to go. Ideally, I would want the zipper to go up to the beginning of the detailing piece so I could just sew the detailing piece, but I don't know if that's going to be enough space for me to be able to get the costume on and off because it is just at the tailbone. And I'm not sure if I can get the hips on and off that, but I could slide it over my head. So I might try that. So in short, she is progressing very nicely. Realistically, what I need to do is I need to put in the zipper. I need to make sure it's all good, that it fits nicely, even though I'm really not sure how I'm gonna make any changes at this point. Please fit. That's my main thing. Please fit. It feels like it's gonna fit me fine. That's my like feeling about it all. I have actually done up the sides, so I had it so that the skirt would have a split on each side for ease of walking, even though it's very short. I have done those back up just by hand, so I've tacked them into place because they were flicking out from underneath the fringing and it was very noticeable. So I think I'll still be able to walk fine in it because it is quite a short skirt. We will have to figure that out when I'm wearing it. She's on! Yay! So this section right here is annoying me because that's the section that for some reason decided to like stretch and warp, but the rest of it is sitting really nicely and the back looks really nice as well. Can't really show that, but it does. Terry tells me at least. So yes, very happy with how this is looking. I love the neckline actually. Now that it's on, I actually kind of love that it goes a bit narrow here. I think that looks really quite lovely. Nice accident, nice accident. So I have just put in the zipper and I'm so excited that this is the first time I get to actually wear it. It's very, very cool. There's a few things that I notice. The first thing is that I think I definitely want to wear something underneath this that kind of structurally gives me some support because like it's very unflattering from the side, but that's just my body shape as well. And like, Mimzy, it would work as well. That's fine. Please don't look at the mess behind me. Toph is on the ground.
She hasn't been hung up yet. I just kind of flung her off. I should treat my cosplays better, I know. But she's been through worse. She was in a suitcase for like, you know, 5 weeks. It's fine. But yes, Mimzy! I really love this colour. This photographs so nicely, this brocade. I'm so glad I used it. So, a few little issues, like here, you can see it's just bending over. That's annoying, but overall, she's pretty comfy. She's very comfy. I just can't really sit in her. I can perch, but I can't sit. But she's not going anywhere. Like, I'm jumping up and down, she's not falling down, which is really interesting because with the fringing and all the beading, she's actually quite heavy. She's quite heavy, but it feels like just a hug around my body, which is quite lovely. And just shoulders. I don't know if I've done, oh no, Christine Daae had shoulders, but she had like over the top sort of like ruffle things, so it was kind of sleeve-ish, but yes, bum bum bum.
Good morning. So today is a very busy day for me today, but I want to try and get some little bits and pieces finished on this costume. So the main thing I need to do is work on the back today. I need to sew the inside of the zipper flat down, then I need to sew the bottom of the zipper in, finish off the satin stitching over the top so that all of these points actually join together, because I think they'll look so much nicer. And then I need to put a hook and eye at the top, and finally I need to finish the beading that I've got for the bottom and the top of this outfit. I want to try and get that all done today in between all of the other appointments. Luckily they're like little jobs, so like there's lots that I can just like quickly tick off. At least that's what I'm hoping. It's later in the day and I have done everything that I needed to do. Kind of. But I didn't do the zigzag stitch or satin stitching on the bottom piece because I couldn't get it underneath my machine. It's so thick there that I literally could not get it under my machine to be able to do a good zigzag stitch. And it's lining up pretty nicely anyway, so I thought, you know what? It's fine. So all I did was I kind of, filled down the seams on the inside. Basically I sewed them down so they're laying flat as can be. And I did the beading and I put the hook and eye in and I got the last bit of the zipper all sewn in by hand. It was fiddly work. The fringe made it nearly impossible to do the beading or like the little hand sewing bits and pieces. But it's all done, which means that the last lot of things that I need to do for this dress is shorten the skirt, colour it in, and do some beading. Oh my goodness me, I might actually have the dress component of this cosplay done by like tomorrow. How crazy is that? Aha! And then it's just the headpiece and the wig, which I still can't do because I haven't got those pieces yet. Look what came in the mail today. What do you reckon? Do you reckon it's my wig? Or do you reckon it's my feather? Gee, I wonder. Oh yeah, here we are. Ta-da! Okay, so the feathers are very red. They're very, very red. They're meant to be more of a burgundy, but you know what? I am just gonna go with these because I'm done trying. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, it picks up the red of the beads, so I'm happy about that. All right, now I can work on the headpiece. Good morning. Look what just arrived. Oh my goodness me, I was not expecting this until next week. So this is my wig. This is my wig. I'm so excited. So let's just open it up. Let's have a look at it. Oh my goodness me. It also came like super early. Like it's not even 9 o'clock, it's 8:30 and it came before 8. So, woohoo. I really, really hope that this wig is better than the previous one, because if it's not, I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's just too late to order any other wig. Okay, already it's looking good. It's looking good. Oh, please, 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 please be good. All right. The color is so cute. It's like a proper blonde blonde. Oh, she's really cute. Okay, all right. Hopefully she looks good on as well. Okay. Oh, and good. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Look, 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 look. It's got that type of cap, which makes me so happy because I hate the set caps. They're just too small for my big head. All right, I'm gonna put a wig net on and then I'm going to chuck her on. Oh, yes, okay. I hope this works. There she is. Oh, I feel so cute with her on. Like, there's a little bit of fringe that is just like wanting to keep them flopping forward, but I think that once I've got the headpiece on, it's going to be able to be locked into position. Like, I might put like a bobby pin or some sort of pin in it and then put the headband over the top. But like, that is much more Mimzy than the last one, and oh my goodness me, I feel cute. I definitely should not be this color blonde in real life. I look like, I know I look very, very silly. So that's all good. I'm happy, I'm happy. I think that this is working for Mimzy. So yeah, at least I can move forward. You know, I can wear her, which means that if I can actually get her finished, I might actually wear her this Sunday to a local convention here in Perth, which would be a lot of fun. But that gives me today, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday, 4 days to get it done. I think I can do it. I reckon I can do it. I reckon I can do it in like a day and a half. I don't know, I'm very slow at these things, but look at her, she's so cute. Oh, yes, much happier with this one. There is so much more hair in this wig than my previous wig, and like, I just love the curls. I think it's so cute. She's a good length at the back, like she's covering my natural hairline. You know, I would have loved it if she was a little bit longer, but honestly, like, I'm fine with her being this length because she's actually a very comfortable wig to wear, which is so good. All right, well, I better get cracking and make the headpiece and also finish the dress. So, because they're the last two things I've got to do for this cosplay now. The time has come, the day is here, the bit that I have been scared of doing. It's time to cut the bottom of the fringing to make it all even. This has been terrifying me. So I have just put on the costume and I had Terry look at it, and we decided that it was going to look good if we cut it from the shortest point at the side, but also make them slightly uneven, just so that it looks visually interesting. And that's going to work considering that I'm wanting to put some beads onto the bottom of this, but it's not going to be every like fringe piece, because I just don't have that many beads, because there's literally thousands of these, I'm pretty sure. So I need to cut this into a kind of flattish line all the way across. So luckily it's just the front and the back that just needs to be kind of sheared off, and then I will need to start coloring the bottom like that much. I think that's about, what, 2 inches, 3 inches? What's that? 2.5 inches, there we go. Probably like 2.5 to 3 inches of the bottom. I'll need to do the coloring of the like dark red kind of color. So that's what I'm gonna do next, and then beading. So I'm not gonna film this because I'm terrified and I don't need the extra pressure of filming. So I'll see you when I'm at the next point. See how it kind of dips in the middle there? Yep, gotta cut that straight across. It's done. It's now all flat. Sort of. There we are. That's how much I cut off. So it doesn't look like too much. It wasn't too severe, which was good, but it was enough to make me scared. So I'm currently in the process of coloring in the bottom of the fringing in this shade of red because it was similar to the reference image. And I'm not loving how it's turning out, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it all the way around, and then I think I'm going to hate myself and I am going to potentially do some more dyeing on the ends. But I want to do it all the way around so at least there is some sort of base layer and a level that I can follow, and just so that I can have a bit of a look at it. But this worked when I did the tester piece, but I guess because there's just so much of it, it's just not
coloring correctly. So yes, I'm really not liking how this is looking. I feel like I'm wasting my time with the pen. I've done like the front kind of first quarter. So I've got a bit of a mark of where I can see where I need to dye. So I'm gonna go ahead and just dye this. I'm gonna do some test pieces first. Fingers crossed it all works. Okay, so it looks like dyeing is out. I've just done a tester piece, or rather a few tester pieces, and it does not work. The ink is definitely, you can definitely see it still. And it is definitely just creating like a light pink. I put all the rest of the red in there and it's just a light pink. So that's not happening. I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and color the rest of this skirt, and then I might have to go over it with another color because I think the pen is probably going to dye with its ink, and I'm just going to have to try and saturate everything. The other issue with dyeing is the fact that the fringe sucks up the moisture. Was not expecting that to happen as much as it did. So what I was seeing was that it was sucking up a lot of the moisture up, and so the color was going right up into like the pink and the purple, way past where I wanted the cutoff line. Great if I was wanting to do an ombre dye, not wanting to do an ombre dye. So looks like I'm back to trying to color all of this in and figuring it out. The bottom of the skirt has now been colored, and that was all done by hand and by texter, and it was not fun at all. It took me so many hours, and I got to the last piece and I was online with Shadow Fray Cosplay, and her response was, why didn't you just airbrush it? Because I didn't think of it, did I? Did I, Shadow Fray Cosplay? That would have been so much easier. So the next thing I need to do is I need to add the beads to random strings, random fringe bits, but I think I'll do that tomorrow because I will need to separate the dress into quarters so I have equal numbers of beads on each quarter. That's the plan. I've already separated the beads into 4 lots, but yeah. I am glad that it's done now because, you know, that was something that really needed to occur. I went through 4 different colored red pens that were roughly the same color. Luckily you can't really tell in the skirt itself that there are 4 slightly different shades of red because I'm not fixing that anymore. Yeah, no, it's fine. We're moving on. We're moving on. Oh my god, why didn't I think about airbrushing?
Should have airbrushed it.
Oh no, you better run! You better run! So I've gone ahead and I have done the beads on the first half, the front half of the skirt. And it looks really good. Unfortunately, the camera's not really picking up like just how fabulous it looks. The sun, when it hits it, it obviously reflects and there's not a lot of sun coming on it just now. But like, look at the weight that you have on that. Look at that swing. It's just, it's real pretty. So I'm gonna give my hands a little bit of a break before I start doing the back. Good morning. The dress is now done. All of the beads are now on the bottom of the skirt, and it's about 3/4 of the individual fringing pieces have beads on them. It took a very long time, and frankly, it was not the most enjoyable experience. I did it in quarters, and I did the last lot yesterday, but it's done now. So that means that the last thing that I need to do is the headpiece. And the headpiece, in theory, should be quite easy. And I've been playing around whether I want it to be elasticated or if I want it to be flat and then have like some sort of clips or something like that so that I can secure it into the wig. And I think because I want to add beading, I think it's going to look the nicest if it's going to be flat. So I'm going to attempt to make a headband that I will have some clips in, like toupee clips,
that I can then click into the wig. Oh, or maybe I can get like little combs or something and that can go into the wig. That might be a good idea. I'm gonna have a little bit of play around, see what I've got and go from there. But I want to get this done today because tomorrow I'm going to Pixel Expo, which is a convention here in Perth. I've never been before, and it's all about animated characters, whether that is from Western or Eastern kind of cultures, and whether it is, you know, game, TV, YouTube, whatever. It's basically, if it is in a pixel format, that is the type of character that they are looking for. So Mimzy really fits that bill. And it also means that I can give her a bit of a test drive before I take her over to PAX next month. Or rather this month when this video comes out. So I don't feel like putting on the wig just at the moment. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make it real loose on my head. I have a big head to begin with. It's okay if it's a little bit loose, okay. Okay, so my head is usually about 59, 60 centimeters. It's quite large for a chick, like really large. And like this loose is like 61. So I might even go a little bit bigger. I might go 62. Yeah, I might aim for like 62 and then with a wig. And I can always make it smaller because how I'm planning on doing it is like inserting it in itself. I'm talking to myself here, I'm sorry. I will come back and show you when I've got something, you know, interesting to look at. I know, gorgeous, right? So I have just been playing around with the band a bit, and it is a little bit smaller than what I had measured it out to be. And I even had seam allowance, I don't know what's going on here, but it's just over 60 centimeters. It's about 60.5 centimeters, and it is still big enough for this to work. So I think that even if it sits a little bit higher in the head, I'm actually okay with that because hers sits very high on her head. It's just for me, I'm like, I don't want it falling off my head. And I also think that if I put some sort of combs into like the two sides so that they can slide into the wig and help secure it in place, I think that we should be okay. So I'm gonna go ahead, sew up that joint, and then from there I can start figuring out the placement of the feathers, how I'm gonna put them on, which gem I'm gonna use, whether I'm gonna be using the big one or the small one with the cameo, or whatever it's called, the setting. And then I can go ahead and start doing all of the beading and all of that good stuff. I might put the comb in first actually, after I put on the feathers. The beading can be the very last thing. I'm just about to start sewing on the feathers onto the headband, and I realized I don't think I've actually spoken about the feathers. So these are the two feathers that I am using, and they're actually 6 feathers. So there are 3 pink ostrich feathers in this one, and there are 3 red ostrich feathers in this one. They're not exactly the right colors for her headband, but I did not want to try dyeing feathers at this point in time. I tried a little bit, it did not work, so I just ordered these red ones because they were the closest to coloring that I could get in the time frame that I had, and I was fine with that. And these pink ones I actually had on hand because these particular ones were actually from my grandmother, who like, she just collected things, and so these particular pink feathers, I've got more pink feathers, but like these particular ones are vintage. Now what you'll see is that yes, they're slightly different heights, which is fine. This one is actually a bit more fuller than this one, and that's fine as well. I'm not too fussed about that. But how I got them looking so full, both of them, is I stacked 3 feathers together, and then what I did, if you look very, very closely along the stem, you can see that I've sewn them together. And I've done that with a hand needle, just going through and sewing them together. And you can hardly notice it when it's back here. And they just look very, very full. Let me show you what they look like without them stacked like this. I'll grab one single feather that I've got left over from when I bought all of these reds. So this here is a single feather versus when you stack them and you've got 3 feathers. You can see that this looks like a single feather, but it's very full. So if you want nice full feathers, don't be afraid to stack your feathers and sew them together.
So I'm playing around with the gems, and this looks very cool in terms of cartoony. However, because I've done the necklace with one of these backings, even though that's smaller, I think that that just looks a little bit more polished. So I think I'm gonna go with this one. Even though this would cover more of the stitches and like hide more of the feathers, I think that this makes me happy and kind of, you know, will tie into the necklace nicer. And because I am going for a little bit more of like a realistic kind of Mimzy as like a showgirl, I think that this is the way to go.
Da-da! So here she is. I've got the combs in both sides, so that's why she's staying on very nicely. This is the wig with it. I think it's so cute. Like, once I make my face paler and I've got the red eyes, and I'm thinking for her lipstick, I'm gonna do just like cute like Betty Boop kind of lipstick, like just a little heart sort of in red. I think that would be very cute for her. So, but there we are. This is how it is. I think the last thing I need to do now is just do the beading in black all the way around. I think that will just elevate it to that level that I'm after, and I can't wait to show you what that looks like. And then she's gonna be done. Oh, I'm so excited, but yes, lots of good movement in the feathers. It's not going anywhere. Feels nice and secure. Looks good with the wig. I think the width is quite nice. So overall, yay, yay, it worked. It's me, it's me. I know you were waiting for me. So Mimzy is done. This is the first time I've been able to put her all on. The headpiece is now all beaded and it's looking real pretty. I'm very happy with it. I haven't got the makeup or contacts in or anything like that. That's tomorrow's job for when I go to Pixel. And overall, this has been a very fun project to do. A few things that I've noticed, other than the things that I already knew, like the center point not being quite center in the middle here, I can't bend down. It's not falling down, which is amazing. Like, I'm very happy with the fact that it's very much not going anywhere, especially considering how much weight is now on this dress thanks to all the beading. But I can't bend down. I just tried to do so, and I actually undid the stay stitching that I'd got in the side split of the skirt, and I need to now redo that because it's poking out underneath the fringing. But also, as soon as I move, the beads on the fringing tangle. So I'm just gonna leave it as it is for tomorrow. I'm gonna see how badly it gets like, you know, clumped together. Like at the moment, it's pretty much all in little clumps, which is fine. If this is the worst it gets, I can live with it. But if it gets worse than this, I think what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to go through and remove about half the beads at the very least, which just makes me kind of cry because it took me about 7-ish hours, 7 to 8 hours putting all the beads on the skirt. And it will take me possibly longer to go through and undo them because I have to undo the knots. I would even be tempted to actually cut the fringing rather than try and undo all of those knots, which, yeah, that just doesn't sound like fun. But I think the wig is cute, the headpiece is cute. I think altogether it's looking really, really lovely. Yeah, it's not my best work, I know that, but I had a lot of fun making it, and that's the type of project that I needed at the moment. So I'm gonna enjoy wearing her tomorrow and just having fun as Mimzy. And yeah, anyway, thank you all so very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you've made it to the end of this video, please make sure you put a "it's me" in the comments. I'd love to see that. I would also like to give a special shout out to my amazing patrons, especially the $10 a month tier patrons who are
Justin Ghosty, Fangirl X, Sam M, Monica, Lulu Rush Cosplay, Miss Twisted, Mithril Teacup, Barbara Lee, Trash Guardian Cosplay, and Mother of Cats Cosplay.
If you too would like to see behind the scenes as I'm making outfits like this, and you want to get some special one-of-a-kind type videos, make sure that you check out my Patreon, maybe consider becoming a member. All of the amazing support that I get through Patreon goes directly into funding my cosplay adventures and making content like this for you. Alright, that's all I've got to say. Mimzy is leaving the building. Come like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!